you're in for, I would think, a tonal surprise if you've only seen the first one and you're expecting something on the same level as that. Because as I discussed last week, the act 2 of a musical is notoriously not as strong as the first act of a musical usually. It is a shorter situation. It usually has less of the biggest, flashiest numbers. That's not to say there aren't really good numbers. I really struggled in watching this movie from two different lenses, from an amateur movie critic who loves to look at film and cinema and what makes a good movie, not necessarily a fun movie, and then we get into the highbrow art versus lowbrow art, and that's fine. But I struggled from that lens and the lens of nothing could make me hate this movie. Nothing could make me have a terrible time watching Wicked for Good, because it's not about what I'm seeing. It's about memories of me and my friends screaming El Kanaman at the top of our lungs when we're like 12 and having no idea what it is and just doing it because it's the alphabet song and no good deed. It's being at one point in love with, a Jonathan Bailey, people's sexiest man alive, beautiful, beautiful man, and watching him and Cynthia Erivo have their romantic interests. And I'm like, who amongst us hasn't been in love with a gay man once in their life for a small moment of time?
You're still talking.
And I was talking to that man this week, and we were just laughing.
You were talking
about
to
it.
Bailey?
No, I was talking to my one-time Jonathan Bailey.
I was gonna say.
But we were just chatting, and it was just like thinking about your connections to Wicked along the way makes it hard for me to sit here and say that was a bad time at the movies, because I didn't have a bad time at the movies. But I can also objectively say Wicked for Good is not as good of a movie as the first Wicked. The first Wicked exceeded my expectations and then some. I didn't know what to expect. It was better than I ever could have imagined. The performances from Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were on point. I didn't know how I felt about the Ariana Grande casting of Glenda. She took that role. She ran with it. I think that if they had made Wicked into one movie, I think Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo would have won awards for it. And because they didn't, I'm not sure that they will. The character arc of Glenda and what Ariana did with it was really, really, really good. But I look at the other great movies that I've seen this year, the movies that I've given 5s to, from Sinners to One Battle After Another to Sorry Baby, and just from a sheer matter of fact, those are better movies and better in the capsule of that movie performance. All that said, I don't care. I loved As Long As You're Mine. I cried like a baby during For Good. I did find myself in the middle of the movie thinking, am I even emotionally invested enough right now where I am going to cry, when I was convinced that I would absolutely 100% cry? And then I still cried. And it was a beautiful moment. And apparently the end was improvised, which is nuts. And those two's relationship, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, has been really charming to watch. I know a lot of people like to dunk on it and make fun of it and whatever, but they clearly had a connection in filming this movie, and they mean a lot to each other in their lives. And at the end of the day, this is a story about friendship. It's also about ending fascism, but it's about friendship. And I thought that part was beautiful to see. Now, all musicals are heavy-handed. This musical is heavy-handed. The new songs, terrible. That's my second Charles Barkley terrible in 2 days, but oh my God. Just, why add them? Ariana Grande, Glenda's song, The Girl in the Bubble, is one of the most heavy-handed musical theater songs I've ever heard. And in an industry, or a genre, I should say, that is all about heavy-handedness, that's like the meanest thing I can say about a song. The lyrics are so dumb and so basic and really don't do anything in a pretty emotional part of the movie. So I didn't love that. Ariana Grande, or Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba song was like a little bit better, but still, waste. There's a lot of time between good song to next good song in this movie, and that can feel like a long time. But I think people will really enjoy it. It's crushing at the box office. It does have a competitor in Zootopia 2, which comes out this week, and Zootopia 2 might overtake it.
I might do me a double feature this weekend.
They're all PG, which is interesting. I was listening to my business podcast this morning, and just this idea that the most watched movies of this year will all have been PG, from Wicked for Good, Zootopia 2, and the Minecraft movie. And if that means anything, I do think, if you can take your family to a movie, that is still a family outing. And maybe that is from the experience sake of what am I spending my money to take my kids to? And obviously it's going to be PG. Wicked for Good didn't have to be PG. They could have shown us Jonathan Bailey's butt. I said it.
Have mercy.
I said it. I didn't need the children in the theater. There was a baby crying in my theater again.
Jonathan Bailey's butt.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I'm trying. You keep talking. My God. That baby was crying because the baby wanted to see the butt as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it just means that, this year had a couple of PG movies that people were really interested in. And PG movies, like, it's easier because you have a larger group to pull from with a good PG movie. If you can make a good PG movie, you can get everybody in because there's no age limits and nobody's going to say, okay, you're 9. I don't want you to sit down and watch a rated R movie. Whereas Sinners, right, great movie, tremendous movie. There's no way in hell I'm taking a child to see Sinners.
Yes.
Right. And so that does narrow down the pool significantly so.
Yeah.
And there wasn't when I think of PG-13 movie, most of them are just action and like superhero movies, right? Immediately those two come to mind. And I can't think of a really, really good action or superhero movie that came out this year.
Yeah. Superman.
Like I said, I can't think of a really, really good action or superhero movie that came out this year.
One that I did not care for.
Oh, the one where they were battling depression the whole time.
Yes.
Like, come on, man. Speaking of heavy-handed.
Yeah, literally. That's how it felt. But I think you'll have a good time.
You left it. How did you feel when you left it?
I was
like,
angry.
what emotion?
I was angry when I got home.
Oh, really? That was the emotion that you had?
I was frustrated.
Okay. Because you think they could have done more
and
with
then
the
I woke
material.
up like being like, why are you frustrated? Like, just enjoy it for what it was.
Your frustration is because you thought they could have done more with the material?
Yeah.
So
I thought if they were going to turn it into a second movie, flesh out the Wizard of Oz stuff a little bit more. If you're going to have the time, don't spend it on 2 meaningless songs. Also, Act 2 is so reliant on getting really good performances from the supporting cast members. Like, you couldn't ask for anything more from Elphaba, Glenda, Fiyero. Crushed it. I will never forgive the world for not giving us Cheryl Lee Ralph as Madame Morrible. I like Michelle Yeoh. I thought she was horrible in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm not that critical often, but yeah, that's how bad. And I thought Jeff Goldblum as the wizard, meh.
Okay.
And I just needed a little bit more. The animals are cute.
Okay.
Save
Spoiler.
the animals.
All right.
Spoiler. I mean, there are animals exist.
Oh.
Elphaba's trying to save the animals. We know this.
This is a play based on a book?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And the
Have
book
you
goes
read the
more-
book?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think the book did a better job of setting up the characters and their motives and their emotions. And this feels...
When is the setup supposed to happen? If you're doing the movie, does the setup happen in the second part of the movie, or does
It could have been done more in the
done in the
part.
first, or more in the first or second?
More in the second.
Okay.
It would have needed to be more in the second. I think when you're watching it as a musical, all musicals have plot holes. They're musicals. When it becomes a movie,
you can
there's
shore that up.
giant light on it where it's like, this doesn't make sense.
Because the second part of the musical is like 40 minutes.
It also
top.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but that's 40 minutes
Why is
top.
Dorothy... Sorry, I said no spoilers.
But that's 40 minutes tops,
Yes.
right? Like, but in a movie, you got at least an hour and a half,
Yeah.
sometimes more than that,
Yeah.
to tell the story. You can use that time to shore up plot holes that were in the play.
Plot holes. There's some weird editing jumps. For a movie that cost $1 trillion gajillion, you'd think it'd be close to perfect. I was like, what is this? Anyway, when you see it, we'll chat a little bit more, because I have one main issue. The worst thing of the whole thing, they overused the term clock tick. And now that I've said it, you're going to think about it every time you hear it in that movie. It's the dumbest phrase. Instead of a moment, it's a clock tick. So just give me a minute. Just give me a clock tick. Why? What a dumb word. It's a clock tick. Hope everyone has a clock tick of a day.
That
Made
doesn't
me
even
really
make
mad.
sense.
Exactly.